Welcome, everyone. This is Chuck Hogan with TO Global, and today, yes, we have another exceptional real estate professional joining us. This is Anna Post. Anna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How are you feeling?
Great.
Awesome. Awesome. So I got to ask, why real estate?
Why real estate?
I know. It's that daunting question.
I fell into real estate. I lived as an expat about half of my life.
Okay. Military family?
A military family and then oil and gas family. So, you know, you just...
They're kind of one of the same.
Yeah. So, yes, I grew up as a Navy brat. But I lived as an expat. I lived in Australia for 20 years.
Wow.
And so I repatriated with my family about 10 years ago to Houston.
Okay.
Houston was going to be home base. My parents had been here since the late 90s.
Nice.
With oil and gas. And so Houston was going to be home base, and I just kind of fell into real estate, working a lot with the expat community that we have here in Houston as
Beautiful.
well. You know, so
Beautiful.
just kind of gel well with that.
Nice. What do you find like matches your values and is redeeming? Like what? I'll make it easier. What do you enjoy about it?
What do I enjoy about it? I actually truly love when they get the keys, because they're just so excited.
Yes.
You know, it's always a process. There's different things that go along with the home buying process. But especially when it's like a family and they're like, oh, we're setting, you know, this is going to be our family home. We're going to be making memories, that kind of thing, fulfilling that kind of joy for them.
Yeah, it's not just a transaction. It's not just a house. It's a home.
Right.
Like this is where we are raising a family. This is where
Yes.
we're going to build memories.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see you light up when we start saying these things. You know, I'm curious. So in today's climate, with interest rates over the last couple of years bouncing around, you know, like they're on a trampoline, what are you finding are some of the opportunities? We'll start there first. What are the opportunities that you're seeing in the marketplace right now?
Opportunities. I've noticed a lot with some of my first-time home buyers. They had to take a step back a little bit with the interest rates, you know,
Nice.
and that's okay.
Understood.
You know, they're still working away at that. Veteran families that I help, of course, with the VA loan, that helps them when they're zero down.
Sure.
And then opportunities a lot with our new developments around. So what if they can't get into a resale pre-existing home? Some of the builders around town are giving them that, especially with the master plan communities.
Yes.
You know, built-in family lifestyle kind of whole package and that kind of
Yeah, where they have a pool, they have a community pool, they have a community fitness center, tennis
Yes.
courts, and you're like, wow, Club Med.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but this is my home.
Yeah. And great schools.
And
you
great
know.
schools. Well, and
If it's for a family, that's what they're looking for.
right.
Yeah.
And to your point, for a master plan community, there's benefits and limitations. So at least that's what we found. We live in a master plan community, and it's like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't have my boat here for an hour? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
Well,
move
and
it now.
My mom lives in a master plan community, and she hadn't really used the amenities. And I was like, hey, we really want to go check out your lazy river. And she's like, well, I want to go to the seniors pool because I don't want all the noise, you know. And I was like,
Right.
Cool. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, okay, good. I saw they go in a whole different way.
It's amazing all the opportunities that they offer for all families. There's a lot of pre-thought that goes into even
Yes.
multi-generational living homes in some of our developments. So for families that live together, or then if a family is downsizing and it's their, you know, the senior living,
Yes.
which is still completely independent. You have your own house and everything like that. And yeah. so
Right.
it's-
What do you find, and this is where it's been so, I'm finding the same emotions and feelings when I hear folks that are going, I can never afford a home.
Yeah.
And then they've had an opportunity to meet a realtor like yourself and then network with TO Global, and they're like going, hey, I work hard, I have cash, but I really don't have, you know, tax returns.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to have tax returns. And you're
Yeah.
like going, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I have helped a lot of people that TL Global will be perfect for in terms of even some of your jobs. Maybe you get a lot with tips. It's amazing how much that those certain industries get with that for, like, you know, even if you're a bar manager or something
Sure.
like that, right? Well, that doesn't really go in your tax return, does it? So yes, you can get the house, but you maybe need to look at an alternative method for making it happen for
100%.
them.
Well, and it's interesting because I started looking at like folks that were painters, or they are the handymen, or landscapers, and I can't even begin to tell you how many people are like, going, oh yeah, there's an envelope, it's a check, made out to cash. I'm like, wait, what? Or they go,
Yeah.
oh, it's just cash.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how do you document that? And people are like going, well, our mattress, El Pueblo mattress is where we keep our money. The bank of Certa.
For the last 100 years.
You're like,
Still working.
wow, pray for no family fire in the house, because I know what the first thing you're grabbing is the mattress.
Right.
With the kids on top, of course. And so part of this is that there's nuances now where that path to home ownership, but I started thinking about it and going, is it really about the ownership, or is it more about the home? Is it more about the emotions and feelings of knowing that you have a place that you can call yours?
Right.
And there's something sacred about that.
Yeah.
And so I love seeing
A house is a house. A home is a home. It's a different thing.
Luther
They're
Vandross saying it the best.
Yeah.
A house is not a home. And so to your point, when you see these situations, are there, because this is the other part I was getting frustrated about as a former mortgage broker and lender, there used to be all these creative programs, and then when 2008 hit, it was all like vapor. And you're like, wait, what happened? And I go, oh, no. LTV needs to be, your FICO score needs to be this. Yeah. And some people thought FICO was the name of a dog. Like, they're like going, oh, wait, what? Like, I don't even know what that is. Yeah. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Yes. They're like going, who are these people? And why do they have time to be like looking at what my credit score is?
All three?
And they're like, why do you not have a credit score?
Yeah.
So what are you finding as far as the types of programs that are out there? Is there a lot available now? Or is
It's really kind of hit or miss.
I know.
And that's where TL Global's great, because I've had a lot of times where people just kind of fit within this crack where it's like, okay, if you keep working towards this, we'll be able to help you here.
Right.
But not now. Whereas I think that'll bridge that gap a lot more for people,
That's really kind of you to say. It's interesting because I know people that make money have a tendency to want to save their money, and which is great. The challenge is they don't even know how much they've saved for a down payment. In most instances, they're just like, oh, I have some money put aside. It's like, okay, that's wonderful. For what? Oftentimes it's for like new equipment, another trailer, another truck. And so there is this discretion that starts to occur. And I remember one time someone was like, oh, but I want to stay off the radar. I don't want everybody in my business. What is mine, and I don't want to have to tell everybody about it. And so they set it up in such a way where there was discretion,
right,
and through an LLC or a trust. And it was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense, because their graver concern was, frankly, that they came here in their youth and have lived here and started a business, but they're not here legally. And
there's a lot of reasons where safety issues may come in for people, even if they're a citizen, where they do need to have that kind of cloak of privacy.
100%. I know very smart business people who don't own anything.
Yeah.
No, you're like, technically, you're like, what? Wait a second. Is that a Lamborghini? Yes, the company owns it. Is that a $2 million home? Company owns that. And it's like, so they're smart, right, and they're putting their money into practice. And I understand that as well. What do you say to someone right now who may be starting out in real estate? Because how many years has it been for you now?
I'm going into my 6th year.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. People go, 6 years and you're a top performer. And it's like, what does that mean? It's like, are you part of the $12 million club? Are you? And I started finding out it had more to do with the trust that people have and repeat buyers or referrals. I go, she's the best.
Yeah.
Why? Because she will listen to you.
Yeah.
She understands you. She's rooting for you. She's going to help mentor you. And you're like, holy smokes. And it does take much more than going, here's a property. Here's what you asked for.
Yes.
There you go.
It's a service industry, and I think the most trusted referral is always someone that's worked with you or knows you personally, because they know what you're like. They know how you're going to be with somebody. I don't like to see anybody in a home that I wouldn't personally live in with my own family, safety issues, things like that.
Yes.
And, so yeah, you need to, take care of your client and really listen to what their needs are. It's about them. It's not about me.
That's
It's
really
about them.
beautiful, because I can tell you, I've met all types over the years. And some are just like, I found you what you wanted. What's wrong with the 3 options we gave you?
Yeah.
And for some people, it's just a feeling. I had someone say one time, they go, every place you ever decide to call home has an energy. And is that energy matched to you? And I was like,
For me, that was always the case. Any home I've ever purchased, I've always known within the first 2 minutes in the door, this is it. I may not have even seen the entire home. I've seen the pictures, that kind of thing, but it's like, this feels like home. And so
Right.
this, and I do end up getting that one. So.
that's brilliant. I mean, we went through a similar situation in 2005 when we were moving to Dallas.
Yeah.
My wife, bless her, she had not seen the house before I actually narrowed it down for us. And she's grown to love it, and it's been a great place where we've raised 3 children now.
Yeah.
But to your point, I picked it because it had an energy. And that energy was that there was peace, tranquility, and it was quiet. And so was it my ideal, was it my forever home? Like I go, oh, we'll be here 20 years, and it's been 20 years.
But most times it's not your forever home when you buy it. You're
Sure.
like, this is perfect for me in the next 5 years, 8 years,
Right.
kind of period. I want my kids having this environment,
Yes.
kind of thing. And then your life changes and you go to the next stage and the next stage.
And we just kept updating things. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is pretty nice. Hey, it's pretty cool. Hey, we could actually stay here.
Now you've made it how you want it.
That's pretty much. It's like, what would you change? Not a whole lot right now.
Yeah.
What is some advice that you could share with someone who is considering going into being a real estate professional?
I would, Houston has such a large real estate community, so I guarantee you that somebody knows 1 or 2 realtors at least as a minimum.
Yes.
So I would speak to my closer friends and ask them what they feel about it. Interview for brokerages, because a lot of it is who is your support network behind you, who is going to mentor you
Yes.
through all the paperwork, the different, we're going through a bit of legal changes with our paperwork now, and that kind of thing. Who's going to be the most knowledgeable and helpful to you for your needs,
Right.
for your business?
I love that, because again, it takes a village, and it's never about one, and it's also about the efficacy and the intention and the values of any organization. Because if you feel like you're having to protect yourself in an environment rather than being nurtured by an environment, that's a very different engagement.
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's actually a really great distinction.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to realize that as a realtor, you are your own small business.
Definitely.
So when you look at it that way and you kind of frame it that way, it's a different kind of outlook on things. You're not just opening a door for somebody. You're not just writing a contract. It's also a business.
That is brilliant, and because not everyone's an entrepreneur. Some people need to be an employee, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's knowing what your gifts and talents are. It's also understanding where you need systems of support. So
Yes.
finding the right brokerage makes a huge difference. Finding the right mentor makes a big difference, because some are more patient than others,
Very much so. Yes.
and some
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah. And what I've found I've done is I've kind of gone, I love what this person is doing with their business.
Yes.
I love how they're operating and things like that. And then you kind of delve in and you go, how can I change myself to be the person I want to grow into as well? And so kind of looking at it that way.
That's a whole nother segment, by the way. Self-development, life enhancement. No, and to that point, there's a level of congruity that when we're not faking it to make it, that we're actually believing as we achieve, that there's a whole nother level of engagement that allows us to be more of us. And when you're being you don't have time to be anybody else.
I don't have a poker face. What you see is what you get, and I think that comes across to people too, because there's a genuineness that you have to show to people. I am genuinely here to help you, with your needs or that kind of thing. So.
And we can feel that from you. And so thank you for that. No, this is exciting, because in today's world, as we go through these segments of learning how to help support other real estate professionals, again, it's not about, oh, I do this, 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 and this, and if you just do this too, it's the path to success. It's like going, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
So if there was one tidbit of advice that you could give to anyone right now when it comes to listings or purchases, what would that be? What would that be? And I know, and I'm making it really.
So as a seller, as an investor, as a buyer?
No. So as a realtor who is working with, we'll say a first-time home buyer, because I'm finding that people who have purchased homes in the past have very strong tendencies towards what they want.
And they probably had a very specific experience previously that you may or may not need to overcome for them.
Listen, once bit, twice shy. And so there are some people who have had the pit bull realtor, and they're trying to figure out, okay, I just don't want to be bit.
Yeah.
So for someone who's new, what would you say to someone who's a new buyer that they should look for in a realtor?
In a realtor, anyone that I meet, especially if they're a first-time home buyer, I think it's all about, first of all, are we getting along well? Are we communicating well?
Right.
Because
you might not take on every single person that comes in the door that's like going, oh, we think you'd be great to work with. And you're like going, not so much.
Well, and they're trusting you with, usually their largest purchase in their entire life,
yes.
Right? So, it's a lot, and having to think from their perspective as well, what they're going through, right? So, first things first, I think I would advise interviewing a few realtors. Don't just go with, my friend used them,
they're great,
them, whatever.
Right.
Maybe you won't get along. Maybe there's a personality clash. Maybe
Great
you don't
point.
like how they explain the documents, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of information to read through when you're signing these contracts and
Absolutely.
things, right? Are they able to converse with you so you're understanding and you're feeling confident and happy in what you're doing, right?
That is the most brilliant description of the day.
Great.
Seriously, because if you're happy and you're enjoying the process, then it goes from being anxiety to excitement.
Yes.
And that's a very different level of engagement. It has very similar physical characteristics, but the motive and intention behind it are very different.
Yeah.
Wow. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
You've made this a great experience.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm Chuck Hogan. This is TL Global. See you next time.